I Sorry for the error. My PC got stuck. I don't know why. Okay, let's continue the stream. As I told before, today it's gonna be a uh, study stream or reading stream. I'll silently do my readings, watch some related stuff, do my readings about porn addiction silently while music plays on the background. Okay, now it's better. Actually, um, let's just let's just talk about this for a while. I started a book called Easy Peasy, the easiest way of quitting porn, and I was very excited at first because it's a book influenced by the great book called The Easy Way of Stopping The Easy Way of Stopping Smoking by Alan Carr. Alan Carr is a great guy about quitting smoking. I read his book, even though I wasn't a smoker. I was so curious about the approach and the psychology that he was using. I read his book. It was a very nice, influential book. At that time, I thought, oh, why nobody had ever uh, wrote something related to sex addiction or porn addiction, stuff like that. And my wish became true after many years. Even last year turned out that uh, it turned out that I had this book. I had already downloaded it, but I totally forgot about it. Okay, let's change. Change the setting. Yeah, I have to change the settings of Twitch. Obvious sexual themes. I mean, even though we are not showing any nudity or something, we are just talking about sex and porn addiction. So I have to change the settings, I guess. So where was I? Yeah, I started reading the book. It's a nice book. Then I felt a little panicky and stopped reading it after 50 pages of reading. And even though it uses kind of the same approach like the Ellen Carr's book, it says, for example, in Ellen Carr's book, it says you can still continue smoking while you read this book, and at the end of the book, you'll finish your last cigarette, and then you'll never smoke. So the same approach is applied here. You can watch porn while you read this book. I mean, you can stop and watch, or like in the days you read, you can still watch, etc. But at the end of the book, you kind of in a ritualistic way, you just watch your last thing and then stop it forever, I guess. Uh, so I was watching from F1. I was watching a video. The quote was your sexuality stays what you. Let's show you this. Well, oh, what? Advertising? Okay, let's get it done. Yeah, so this is the video I was listening to, giving a different approach. Of course. Mm, yeah, I was watching that one. So continuing on this. Well, it's a process like before what your sexual says about you, like you ask a couple of questions about your sexuality and then you dive deep into it and try to understand the uh, main or core needs that's behind the sexual fetish or kink. And then from there,
Salim'in müzik tarihine geçmiş şu
I'm
sözlerini
just
ilk
guessing right
defa
now
burada
because I
duymuş
didn't finish the
olamazsın.
video yet. From there, you'll probably find a better or healthier way to supply that need. I guess I don't know. Let's see.
Yani bir ilişki bu kadar güzel anlatılır. Sulu sulu bana bana akıyor, atıyor o. Bir dakika. O zaman şöyle yapalım. Bunu Salim bize açıklasın. Salim, sulu sulu bana bana atıyor o. Ne anlatıyorsun burada?
Bir diskoda terlemiş,
Terlemiş.
saçlarını
Böyle vıcık
sallayarak,
vıcık
evet.
o. Diskoda terlemiş. Böyle koltuk altları filan böyle her taraftan. Bir de böyle atıyor.
Yani.
Saçları atıyor. Allah. Oh.
Yandan sağa sola sallıyor.
Yandan yana sağa sola sallıyor. Of be.
Ah.
Ah.
Ahı var sonunda yani. Sallıyor. Ah.
Belli ki ama dünden hazır, coşuyor.
Belli ki dünden hazır coşuyor.
Neye hazır?
Neye hazır?
Bu kadın neye hazır?
Atıyor. Oh.
Aha.
Neye hazır?
atıyor. Ah ah. Bu kadın neye
Bak
hazır?
biz Hollandalılar gibi değiliz abi. Bir saatte eve gidelim diyemiyorsun. Daha bir şeyler içelim deyinceye kadar sabah oluyor.
Tabii.
Bak bu nerede bu kadın böyle sulu sulu atıyor o.
Ben bu kadının kim olduğunu merak ettim.
Bu nerede bu kadın? Sen ondan mı bu kadar bacakların açık oturuyorsun sen?
Bu kadın şimdi bu kadın herhangi bir diskoda kendi
Tamam onu anladık canım herhangi.
eğlenmek isteyen
Salim de açıklama yapıyor. Bu kadın herhangi bir diskoda eğlenmek isteyen. Ben Salim'in niye konuşmadığını anladım abi.
Niyeymiş?
Oturuyor. Çünkü Salim'in bir şey yapmasına gerek yok. Salaklık bende mesela. Diyorum ki acaba bize gidelim nasıl söylenir falan. Salim... Çünkü zaten kadın sulu sulu atıyor. Bir de bir şey hikayesi var. Aldatma hikayesi var. Oraya da bu kadar kesin anlatılabilir. Jale'nin oyununa geldimle başlayan kıtayı söyler misin?
Jale'nin oyununa geldim. Yanaştıkça yanaştı.
Dur bir dakika dur. Dur bir dakika susalım bir dakika.
Yanaştıkça yanaştı.
Açalım
Aklım fikrim
sesini.
şaştı. Ben olmam dedikçe o amacını aştı. Hiç işim olmaz dedim. Bardağım taştı. Kimden demeye kalmadan.
Bir de hayır niye arayamadın? Asıl manitayı arayamamanın
Affet bölümünü mü?
affet değil başka bir bölüm var ya.
Jale de jale, üfne jale. Bu alemde.
Ha o da güzel. Jale de jale, üfne jale. Bu kadar jale güzel anlatılabilir.
Düşerim ya.
Mesela jale şöyle böyle aman işte dünya güzeldir şudur budur hiç gerek yok. Jale de jale, üfne jale bitti.
Bu alemde tek bir tane.
Bu alemde tek bir tane çok bilgi gerekiyorsa. Sonra
Yanaştıkça yanaştı.
ha bu bölüm. Bir de Salim'in sesini açalım abi. Dur abi. Ha, şimdi o bölümü dinleyeceğiz. Gül dikkat ediyorsun değil mi?
Tamam.
Senin için yapıyoruz bunu yani Salim'i tanı. Yanaştık evet.
Yanaştıkça yanaştı. Aklım fikrim şaştı. Ben olmam dedikçe o amacını aştı.
Ha. Dur bir dakika. Kadın Salim oturuyor. Kadın yanaştıkça yanaşıyor. Salim
Oturuyor.
oturuyor. Aklı fikri şaşıyor. Ne oluyor? Olmaz dedikçe Salim yapıyor. Olmaz diyor.
Abla istiyor.
Olmam dedikçe
Abla ay istiyorum yok bilemeyiz. Günahını alma.
Öyle dedi ama. Yanaşıyor.
Hayır yanaşıyor değil. Salim'in dediğine göre bir gece bir yerde eğlenmek isteyen bir kız o. Suçsuz.
Affedersin.
Salim'i görmüş. Salim'i görünce Allah ne oluyor diyor kız. Evet. Sonra devam.
Yanaştıkça yanaştı. Aklım fikrim şaştı. Ben olmam dedikçe o amacını aştı. Hiç
Bak
işim
işte
olmaz
amacını
da
aşıyor.
bardağım taştı. Kimden
Hayır.
demeye kalmadan.
Evet.
Merhaba ben Jale.
Merhaba ben Jale.
Bu kadar.
Bu kadar.
Ne
Sonra
gerek var bu kadar
devam
harekete?
dur bakalım. Sonra.
Hiç işim
Hatırlamıyorsun.
olmaz dediğimde bardağım taştı. Kimden demeye kalmadan.
Onu söyledin.
şaştı.
Jale de jale, üfne calama sonra geliyor.
Tamam. Sonra. Hayır kıza diyorsun ki telefonum vibrasyondaydı.
Canım.
Canım.
Abi bak Salim yani Salim tamamen suçsuz. Salim oturuyor. Kız diyor ki niye aramadın? Affet aşkın bölümü başka bir kadına değil mi? He. Diyor ki niye aramadın? Telefonu vibrasyonda. Salim oturuyor. Telefon niye vibrasyonda?
Kapalıydı.
Dur abi sözleri anlamaya çalışıyoruz.
Hayır biz evde oturup bunun bayağı 2 saat konuşmasını bayağı şarkıyı analiz ettik. Haftalarca
Salim
günlerce.
şu da yani kız
Hadi bu yüzden bu kadar çok yıkılıyoruz.
Affet aşkın bölümünü istemiyorum öbür bölüm. Yani şimdi baştan sona da
Sonra çalkala bir haller oldu bana.
ha, şimdi evet. Salim oturuyor. Kız ona yanaşıyor. Salim de en sonunda çığırından çıkıyor. Şimdi çalkala çalkala söyle.
Çalkala çalkala bir haller oldu bana. Çalkala çalkala bir haller oldu bana. Jale de jale niyetimi bozdu ama
Ha,
birazdan.
dur. Jale de jale bak. Çalkala çalkala bir haller oldu bana. Çünkü Salim hareket edemiyor. Çünkü telefonu vibrasyonda. Ondan sonra diyor ki çalkala çalkala bir haller oldu bana.
Niyetimi bozdu ama
Jale de jale niyetimi bozdu ama.
birazdan dönecektim güzelim ben sana.
Kıza şimdi söylüyor. Ben de böyle oturuyordum. Birazdan dönecektim güzelim ben sana.
Jale'de kabahat durmadı bir rahat.
İşte burası. Jale'de kabahat durmadı bir rahat. Çünkü Jale sulu sulu atıyor.
Tabii. Oh yani.
O.
Aa,
Salim'in hiçbir suçu yok abi.
Salim ne yapıyor?
her şey
Salim
Jale'nin
oturuyor.
suçu.
Vibrasyonda. Bak bir şey söyleyeceğim sana. Herhangi bir yerde bu parça çalsın dans etmeyen adam yok abi. Çok acayip.
Hele bu analizden sonra.
Bu analizle tamamen anlaşılacak. Çoğu kişi anlamadan dinliyordu ben sana söyleyeyim. En azından Salim'in vibrasyonda olduğu kesin değildi. Şimdi Salim'in vibrasyon olduğu anlaşıldı. Bir vibrasyon var. Evet. Peki Gül Hanım anladınız mı efendim?
Okan Bey çabanızı takdir ve teşekkür ediyorum ama ben pek anlayamadım.
Ya ben tabii ki siz anlamamış olabilirsiniz.
Kesinlikle bendedir.
Bence bir kere daha dinleyin. Çok kolay anlaşılmıyor çünkü. Yani ben de ilk dinlediğimde Salim'i sulu sulu atan kadını ve Salim'in telefonla konuştuğu kadını hayal etmekte güçlük çektim. Çünkü bir de telefon bölümleri var. O bölümleri dikkat ettiniz mi? Affet aşkım falan diye başlayan.
Nasıl başlıyor?
Affet aşkım. Orayı bir söyler misin?
I am asking one of the AIs to interpret my thing. For example, one of them interprets like my point to a part of you that craves full acceptance, worship, and endless options, perhaps even as a compensation for neglect and
Peki Salim
emotional
bir şey soracağım.
starvation
Şimdi
earlier in life,
vibrasyondasın.
which I had.
Oraya nasıl geçiyorsun? Affet aşkım.
Yeah, I
O
had
nasıl oluyor?
emotional starvation and
Orasını
neglect
yapabilmek.
Orasını yapabilmek.
when I was a kid.
Marifet orada.
Tamamıyla anlaşılmış.
Peki
bu
benim bir
şarkı.
dakika anlamadığım şey şu.
Hala bir şey
Gece
anlamadım.
bir dakika. Gece
Actually,
o
I never
gece
read
eğlenmeye gitmiş Salim.
Gabor Mate's
Ve
book, but
Jale de
he's a
Jale
great guy, and I
sulu
watched
atmış.
this
Aferin.
YouTube videos. He always talks about
Ondan
how
sonra
addiction
Salim
is related to
vibrasyonda.
trauma. So I have lots of
Ertesi gün de
trauma
affet
and I
aşkım
have
diye özür
ADHD.
diliyor.
He also
Peki.
O gece ne oldu?
talks about ADHD on some of the videos I get.
O gece ne oldu? Bir şey oldu
How
mu
it's
olmadı
related
mı?
to trauma, I guess.
Olmadı ki.
Neler o?
I have ADHD. I have lots of trauma background, physical, emotional,
Evet.
psychological, even sexual. Yeah, I got them.
Stüdyoda dalgalanmalar, bağırışlar, çağrışlar, kıyamet, nümayiş. Ya. Hazır mısınız? Salim'e hazır mısınız?
Alo, aşkım susma. Alo, bu aşka kıyma.
So I gave ChatGPT some answers. He kind of interpreted it, and he says it's like uh, comments on it are like, you are not addicted to sex, but you're addicted to what sex represents for you. And there's power, attention, worship, transformation, surrender, danger, and reward. States. is interesting. For example, for CNC, it says Discord CNC is often less about sex, more about healing trauma through erotic sovereignty. He talks about support groups. It talks about support groups. What else? Trauma aware therapist. That's fine. Coach or group, or you can say this is what I've been through, this is what I'm becoming. Yes, you're not craving porn, you are craving deep intimacy and recognition. It's true. Something. Good point. It says you are not obsessed with fiancé, you are longing for a world where power is safe and love is fair. That's not an addiction, that's your soul trying to repair itself. So true. Would you like to create a small ritual journal template or even a weekly plan to start practicing some of these outside the bedroom fulfillment? I'd love to help you design it. Okay, let's do that. Mirror exercises, breath exercises. Actually, the AI is very clever. I asked it a question about my obsession with photos that have uh, pictures of nice girls with nice eyes and deep eye contact and stuff like that. And it says desire for connection. The focus on eye contact suggests that some level you are craving real emotional connection or intimacy. Eye contact is often a deeply intimate act between two people, and these photos might be fulfilling a desire to feel seen, recognized, and important. And it makes a lot of sense because when I was a kid, I was also neglected a lot. I wasn't seen, I wasn't recognized, I wasn't important. All my needs, especially my emotional needs, they were like neglected so badly, and I felt like I'm a ghost. I don't even exist in the house, you know. So that really fucked up with my psyche, and at some point I got obsessed uh with girls having nice eyes, or um like when I looked the girl in the eye, I felt so many emotions, a rush of emotions. And for example, I remember when I was seeing my first therapist back in the days, like back in 2000 something, when I was going to university. She was a woman, and it was very hard for me to look at her eyes because I was feeling ashamed. But not just that, I was also had a crush on her, and also when I see her look seeing her looking back into my eyes, I felt so many emotions, like, yeah, shame, uh, love, infatuation. She was showing me care, or like she was really listening to me, and I wasn't used to that, like, because all those years, especially in my adolescence years, when I was an adolescent, I was neglected so badly. I was traumatized, uh, bullied, abused, and this and that. So, uh, yeah, I wasn't just something totally new. So I didn't, my brain didn't know how to deal with it. So it was like an emotional overload. So I was, for a couple of years, I couldn't look back to her in the eye, especially when I was trying to talk back with my psychologist. I couldn't look for psycho, psychological counselor, I guess. Well, I couldn't look back to her eyes. I couldn't keep eye contact. I was only looking at her when she was talking, and when I was talking back, I was looking down to the ground or something. So that kept on like that for a couple of years, and I saw her more than a year. Maybe it was 2 or 3 years. I don't even remember, but maybe probably slightly in the later years, I achieved to somewhat keep the eye contact. So what else? What else I was saying? It can also be related to power and control and power dynamics, where you are the one in control and your partner is not missing your gate, not working, blah blah blah. Escalation of need. Yeah, I was asking this AI that it's easier to delete, even though it's kind of hard, but it's kind of easy if you compare to like deleting porn videos, comparing to deleting a picture of a nice girl showing her face and looking directly to the camera like this. You know, I was saying deleting porn videos are so easy. The harder part for me is deleting the pictures, and especially the non-pornographic or non-erotic pictures. I mean, they are assumed or called as non-erotic or non-sexy because they don't show nude or nudity or parts like ass, legs, or boobs, etc., etc. But for me, they are very erotic and they are very sexy because for me, the sexiest part of a person or a woman is her face, and especially her eyes, her hair, the shape of her nose, maybe lips, elbow, piercing are also intimidating. I find them very sexy too. So, but if I have to rank, I'll say first the eyes, second maybe the shape of the nose. I have an obsession of that. I don't know why. Some particular shape I really like. Find it kinky. Maybe shape of the hair, and then the color of the hair maybe, or you can change three and four. Those can be the four. Four. So what was it saying? It's saying the reason can be escalation of needs effect. But these pictures are harder to erase than regular porn videos could indicate that the emotional significance of these images is stronger for you than typical explicit content. This could point to psychological attachment or emotional reinforcement. You might feel that the photos represent a form of unfulfilled longing or fantasy. It's harder to let go because it taps into your deeper need for connection, validation, or acknowledgement. Probably, yeah. Probably deep down, I just want to connect people and get validated and feel acknowledged. And in my fantasy world, looking looking to a picture where the girl directly looks at the camera, or in my fantasy directly looks at me, is a form of getting this validation or acknowledgement or this connection in a twisted and virtual way, artificial way. Even though you somehow know it's not healthy and untrue, your subconscious, at the subconscious level, you still feel like you're getting it, you know, and kind of the tricky part that keeps you hooked on those pictures, I guess. For me, it's like that. It also says idealized control.
There's a nail in the door and there's glass on the lawn. Tacks on the floor and the TV is on. And I always sleep with my guns when you're gone. There's a blade by the bed and a phone in my hand. A dog on the floor and some cash on the night.
Gradual release.
When I'm all alone, the
It says you can gradually delete small chunks of pictures, and then do a student activity, and another day erase more. Journaling, meditation,
There's a shark in the pool and a witch in the tree. A crazy old
find a ways to engage people in real time. Yeah, I can go out to see social meetings, but I'm waiting for my throat to recover. I was in the hospital a couple of days ago, and my throat started getting sore. That's why I'm kind of having difficulty to speak. I just scream. You probably noticed that I talk a little softer than normal, harder. So I wanna go to real life events and stuff, but I'm waiting to recover. You're definitely gonna go at least 3 to 4 times a week outside. I mean, for walks, four time, four time, at, 4 times a day, and for meetings, I think at least three real life meetings, and maybe I should attempt some Zoom meetings too. Mindfulness practice, breathe, and acknowledge feeling, loneliness, craving, control, or something else. Name it, feel can have to detach from the earth. Empower your future imagine what it feel like, disconnect from these images, meditate on something that's satisfying and healing for you.
Yes, it's a fine old thing when the night is cold and lonely. This is the midnight blues. This is the midnight blues for the girl I left behind me. Ain't it a fine old thing? This is the blues. Just a feeling deep inside me.
It was asking me for explore healthy power dynamics with my partner, and I told
This is
told
the midnight blues.
the artificial intelligence that I don't have a partner for many years. I mean, I had a partner, long-term partner for after my very long relationship, but those partners were, even though they were long-term, they weren't healthy. So I couldn't find a very healthy long-term partner. I always found like semi-healthy or not very healthy kind of long-term partners, and I don't know why. Yeah. After I finished my university, I had a kind of healthy and long-term partner, which was great, and that was like for 5 years. So it finished like 2014 or 15. So for the last 10 years, strangely enough, even though I had some partners and some long-term partners, most of them weren't very healthy. Some of them started okay, but then they turned emotionally unavailable, which I really hate. Some of them were sexually unavailable. Some of them were both sexually and emotionally unavailable. Yeah, that's really shitty. I really don't know why it's happening. I'm trying to understand like the psyche behind it. Actually, one of the practices it, is erotic writing, which I do. I generally do it with an artificial intelligence. I will use its name here with a specific one. Yeah, it can be helpful. I already started doing that without having to know it unintentionally or subconsciously. I felt that would be helpful, I guess. It also says building healthy platonic relations. I don't know how to do that. All my life I had so many platonic relationships, but how to identify them as healthy, I really don't know how to define them. So. Polyamory, yeah, talking about polyamory, it's hard to find polyamorous people. Okay, let's ask the healthy versus unhealthy platonic relationship.
Little man, when you stand by my side, then I know I don't have to hide from anyone. And I pray that we'll stay just that way till the day comes along when we catch the sun. Little girl, you're running, come catch my hand, I'm near you. Little girl, you're singing, come close to me, I hear you.
Mutual respect and equality. Open and honest communication. Yeah, the one of my ex-girlfriends, the one I started at 2009 after I finished my university. We are still friends. We are still open and honest communication. Even though we are not lovers, we are very much open and honest communication. Mutual respect and equality. Yeah, both we are supportive but independent. Yeah, yeah, healthy boundaries, balance. Actually, balanced effort and reciprocity, I'm not that sure because she's always too busy with her own things. So generally, I am the one calling her. That part is a little problem. So uh, she somehow started investing less time to me, and that I don't like. So you can also interpret it as maybe not very mutually respectful, you can call it. So except for her, I don't really know somebody that uh, I can define as a healthy platonic relationship. once I had a girlfriend from America, from USA. She was manipulative. She was passive aggressive. She had all those red flags, and it lasted for one, no, 2, 3 months, something like that. It was very hard to escape from the relationship because I was more hooked up and I was in a bad emotionally in a bad situation. I was in a turmoil, in a chaotic mindset. But somehow I managed to finish the relationship, and that was like probably one of the best decisions I had made. I had a support group which helped me through at that time. So here it defines on how to continue the relationship. So I can. So she was ignoring my emotional needs. She was toxic. She was disrespecting boundaries. She was wrong turnarounds all the time. Even though she knew I was a woman, she was causing some stupid shit.
Well, they got so much flavor. Wanna know about me? Go to Wiki Wiki. I'm a time bomb by the ticky ticky. See me on top on the tippy tippy. Only fly chickens, I'm picky picky. So ill, I'm sicky sicky. Yeah, got the liquor, you can sippy sippy. Be love you long time, no quickie quickie. Now the girl on my dang dang diggy diggy.
Baby, I'm super duper, super dope. Oh, I feel like I'm made of solid gold. Hey, yo. Baby, I'm super duper, super dope. I'm super, baby, I'm super dope. I'm super, baby, I'm super dope.
I knock 'em out the box, boy. I ain't something you can stop, boy. I'm on fire, yeah, I'm hot, boy. And I'm not flavor that you're not, boy. I got 'em sweating like a fat man. I'm all up in your head like a CAT scan. Delete 'em and throw 'em in the trash can. Attack 'em with the boom bap original rap, man.
I'm the cream of the crop, boy. Supreme cause I'm sitting on top, boy. I make it crack cause I rock, boy. Constant means the tab don't stop, boy. I kill the game and the coaches. Spray lead, now they running like roaches. Dead prayers, now here come the vultures. Make bread cause I'm coming with that dopeness.
Hey, yo. Baby, I'm super duper, super dope. Oh, I feel like I'm made of solid gold. Hey, yo. Baby, I'm super duper, super dope.
Body block, hit the floor. Fight over, ring the bell, baby, dee dee dee dee. TKO, comatose, adios. Slow motion on your motherfucker. Superman, super gun, make 'em run. Shoot 'em down with the wiki wiki, bang bang bang bang. Automatic, now your body looking polka dotted. Blood splattered when I hit you with that. Whip flash, get the cash, get the ching ching. Get the gold, get the jewels, get the bling bling bling bling. Get the money, get the cash, get the dough. 10, 120s, baby, get the dollar sign, on the brain. On the mental, got money on my mama, my mind. Make 'em stop. Hammer time, hustle time, keep on hustling.
Hey, yo. Baby, I'm super duper, super dope. Oh, I feel like I'm made of solid gold. Hey, yo. Baby, I'm super duper, super dope. I'm super, baby, I'm super dope.
I'm doper than a dope game. Making more money than the dope main. You see me double fisting, holding champagne. Got turned up till I had no brain. Motherfucker, I'm a rock star. In a G6, eating up the caviar. Started from the bottom, now I'm out of here. Started from the bottom, now I'm out of here. I be on my hustle, getting busy, busy. Tokyo to Brussels got me dizzy, dizzy. Travel around the world like we're ishy, ishy. All my girlfriends looking pretty, pretty. I keep the 100, never 50-50. I keep the hip hop, never hippie hippie. I don't let it cocoa, no sniffy sniffy. I got soul, cause soul is my city city.
Hey, yo. Baby, I'm super duper, super dope. Oh, I feel like I'm made of solid gold. Hey, yo. Baby, I'm super duper, super dope. I'm super, baby, I'm super dope. I'm super, baby, I'm super dope.
Asked ChatGPT some questions about my money problem. It was so overwhelming. Uh, I mean, diving deep into a problem when you're already trying to solve a big problem like sex addiction was too much for me. It made me kind of feel overwhelmed with all those problems and That was too much. It's hard to catch. Oh, thanks for the follow. I didn't hear your weird notification. I was saying it was hard to catch two lions at once. You know, dealing with uh, dealing with sex addiction is already a big issue, and now all of a sudden I'm trying to ask questions about my how I can fix my relations, or like questions like how to fix my money problem. That was a little too much. I think I shouldn't have asked them to the artificial intelligence right now. Let's just focus on one thing. Yeah, it's already stressful trying to fix the sex addiction problem. Yeah, maybe I should continue my book. That book was very helpful. At least it gave me hope, which is very important. There's my book. At least it gave me some hope, and it was a very nice book. Very, very exciting and the word. Let's see if I can find it. Right? I found it. Let me show you the site. I am reading the Turkish version of the book, but I can show you the site. The site easypeasymethod.org. Easy peasy way to keep going. Open source book. Open source. Oh, there's also audiobook. Hmm, that's interesting. I can download it and listen to it, maybe. It's a 150-page book nearly, and I'm at 54th page, so I already read one third of it. But just like the Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Smoking book, maybe you need to read it more than once. Actually, I wasn't a smoker, so I only read that once. That was out of curiosity, but we'll see.
死んでいた朝に弔いの雪が降るはぐれ犬の遠吠え下駄の音きしむ因果な重さ見つめて歩く闇を抱きしめる蛇の目の傘ひとつ命の道を行く女涙はとに捨てました振り向いた川に遠ざかる旅の日がいてた鶴は動かず泣いた雨と風冷えた水面にほつれ髪映し涙さえ見せない蛇の目の傘ひとつ恨みの道を行く女心はとに捨
the book keeps on saying after you quit porn, you what does it say? Wait a minute, let me find that point. You'll start seeing your partner attractive, and all you need is his or her touch. Her or his voice or image, etc., etc. But the problem is I don't have a partner. And if I had a partner, I would definitely go for the partner, not go for the porn. So in that sense, I'm thinking, I'm kind of questioning myself, am I reading the wrong book? But I don't know. I still wanna read and finish the book. Maybe I can find some ways to implement into healing my sex addiction. Sinister Black Shallow. I think Actually, I'm switching to the English one right now. And this is an open source book, so hearing it won't be a problem, I guess.
I'm in love with your brother. Yes, I am. But maybe I shouldn't ask for his name. And you dance, oh what a dance. And you laugh, oh what a laugh. Does he know what I do? And you pass this on, won't you? And if I asked him once, what would he say? Is he willing? Can he play? I wasn't really looking for some more days, some company on the dance floor. Does he know what I do? And you pass this on, won't you? I wasn't really looking for some more days, some company on the dance floor. If I asked him once, what would he say?
You see advantages of being a porn user. Sorry for the spoiler. It's none. It's empty. Maybe I shouldn't show you the book because it only makes sense when you start reading from the start. I will continue showing my face. This one is better. This one.
What it do, baby boo? Yeah, little mama, you looking good. I see you wanna play with a player from the hood. Come holler at me, you got it like that. Big Snoop Dogg with the lead pussycat. I show you how I go that. Yeah, I wanna throw that. Me and you one-on-one, treat it like a show that. You look at me and I look at you. I'm reaching for your shirt, what you want me to do?
I'm telling you to loosen up my buttons, baby, but you keep running. Saying what you gon' do to me, but I ain't seen nothing. I'm telling you to loosen up my buttons, baby, but you keep running. Saying what you gon' do to me, but I ain't seen nothing. Typical and hardly the type I fall for. I like when the physical, don't leave me asking for more. I'm a sexy mama, just try to get what I wanna.
like before I proceed. I'ma show you where to put it at. PCD on me, yeah, I thought I saw a pussycat. Now roll with the big dog, all 6 of y'all on me. Now tell me how I feel, baby doll. Ashley, Nicole, Carmi, Jessica, Kimberly, Melody, you telling me?
Listen up. Yeah, I can't take this.
Yeah, just in this, as in the cigarette, the bigger problem is the big monster, the brainwashing. You have to unlearn the things, the brainwashed thoughts about phone that you have. For example, life is too short. A bomb could go off. I could step under a bus tomorrow. I have, I have left it too late. They tell you everything gives you an addiction nowadays. Or I have picked the wrong time. Or I should have waited until after Christmas, after my holiday, after my test, after this stressful event in my life. Or I can't concentrate. I'm getting irritable and bad tempered. I cannot even do my job properly. Or My family and friends won't allow me. Let's face it. For everybody's sake, I have to start again. I'm a confirmed sex addict, and there is no way I will ever be happy again without an orgasm. Or nobody can survive without sex. Open parenthesis. Brainwashed by well-meaning people who don't consider the distinction between the tantric and the propagated parts of sex. Close parenthesis. Or knew this would happen. My brain is sensitized by delta phosphine due to changes affected by dopamine surges because of my past excessive phone use. Sensitization can never be removed from the brain. So these are some of the common brainwashing or the beliefs, let's say, false beliefs. At this stage, the user usually gives in, firing up the browser, and the schizophrenia increases. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is doubt and uncertainty, and agony comes from there because we generally think it as a sacrifice, like giving up phone. Not a sacrifice, it's just getting away from your shackles. But if you think it as a sacrifice, then you will feel stressful, of course. Yeah, and the brain tells, go have a peek. There's no harm in peeking in one of those sites. You know, talks the little devil or the monster. Sorry. The internal narrative is, if I can go long enough without internet porn, the urge to watch it will eventually go. That's the willpower method. We don't like the willpower method. In this book it doesn't recommend the willpower method. state above, the agony the user undergoes is mental and caused by uncertainty. Although there is no physical pain, it still has powerful pain. Now miserable and insecure, the user is far from forgetting. Now full of doubts and fears. How long will the cravings last? Will I ever be happy again? Will I ever wanna get up in the morning? How will I ever cope with stress in future?
Drop that kitty down low. Pop that kitty down low. Shot that like a window. I'm gonna make you explode. Drop that kitty down low. Pop that kitty down low. Take that video phone. Drop that kitty down low.
Drop that kitty down low. Pop it like a pistol. Make it clap for a stack. Don't forget to look back. No, ass up, face down. Give it to me now. Send me the pics and the videos. Ooh, she's on material. Here we go. I got a bad one. Shake that if you got a fat one. Pour it up and spill it out. Let her boss pour it in your mouth, girl. Oh, she not with me. She the type of chick in the club every week. Oh, work that. Told her drop it to the ground and bring it back.
Drop that kitty down low. Pop that kitty down low. Shot that like a window. I'm gonna make you explode. Drop that kitty down low. Pop that kitty down low. Take that video phone. Drop that kitty down low. I know you want it all. I'm giving you a show. You like what I'm doing. Drop that kitty down low. I know you want it all. I'm giving you a show. You like what I'm doing. Drop that kitty down low.
Shake it like a salt shaker. She going hard like a jawbreaker. Just fitting on that body like wallpaper. I want it right now, not let it left, right. Girl, get it. Bring it right, chick. Hey, kitty. Hey, stop playing with it. That kitty good, I'm staying with it. 100. Yeah, everything 100. I got a pit bull, make the kitty run from me. Give it that work. Playing with the kitty and it ain't got fuck. Money long, my money long. You ain't worried about it, girl, you got your own, yeah. Independent. Drop it to the ground and get it.
Drop that kitty down low. Pop that kitty down low. Shot that like a window. I'm gonna make you explode. Drop that kitty down low. Pop that kitty down low. Take that video phone. Drop that kitty down low. I know you want it all. I'm giving you a show. You like what I'm doing. Drop that kitty down low. I know you want it all. I'm giving you a show. You like what I'm doing. Drop that kitty down low. Yeah. Come a little closer, come be my boy. Drop that kitty down low. Pop that kitty down low. Shot that like a window. I'm gonna make you explode. Drop that kitty down low. Pop that kitty down low. Take that video phone. Drop that kitty down low. I know you want it all. I'm giving you a show. You like what I'm doing. Drop that kitty down low. I know you want it all. I'm giving you
baby, bend your knees. So nice, make her say please. Like a lolly, lick it till it's clean. She looked at me, said, baby, what you mean? I need a freak to rub my hair. Ay, I need a freak every day of the week with her legs in the air. I want a freak who just don't care. Ay, I need a freak with a big ass butt, make all the niggas stare.
Oh, you looking for a freak? I'm the biggest one. I could do a trick you ain't know make you come. Big ghetto booty, bougie, choosy, and giving up the pussy for a dinner in a movie. I need me a nasty ass nigga that don't care. Fuck up with my ex, cause I had the nigga scared. You ain't eating what you here for, baby, I'm a nympho. Known to keep a nigga on rock like a Flintstone. Real freaks don't trip, they come and then dip. Treat them like party favors, I pass them like chips. Get my nut, then what? I'm back to business, a good lick and a trick. That's all that he is.
I need a freak to rub my hair. Ay, I need a freak every day of the week with her legs in the air. I want a freak who just don't care. Ay, I need a freak with a big ass butt, make all the niggas stare. Ay, I got a bitch named Ashley, she don't even ask me. Suck a nigga up with Britney in the backseat. Brand new bitch, paparazzi think she Cassie. Tell her make it nasty, spit like Daffy. I ain't Billie Jean, but the bitch call me daddy. Diamonds in my ear got me feeling like Gatsby. House full of hoes, you can only imagine. 5 in the morning getting ghosts like Cassie. I need a freak to rub my hair. Ay, I need a freak every day of the week with her legs in the air. I want a freak who just don't care. Ay, I need a freak with a big ass butt, make all the niggas stare. Ay, I need a freak to rub my hair. Ay, I need a freak every day of the week with her legs in the air. I want a freak who just don't care. Ay, I need a freak with a big ass butt, make all the niggas stare. Damn.
Oh my god, so true. This is not a gift. This is not a the porn site that you dream of. Always wanna that you always wanna go back and check it. It's not a gift. It's not a prop. It's not a fake that you are missing. Yeah, we have to get rid of this mentality. If we can't get rid of this mentality, then we try to quit before we undo the brainwashing, then we are really hooked. But it's really tricky. Here it writes, the real problem when stopping is brainwashing and the illusion of entitlement. That internet porn is some sort of prop or reward, and life will never be the same without it. Far from turning you off, far from turning you off internet porn, all that cutting down accomplishes is leaving you feeling insecure and miserable, convincing you that the most precious thing on this earth is the new clip you have missed, that there is no way you'll be happy again without seeing it. Yeah, this is a big brainwashing. Yeah, it's the big brainwashing. I started this book through 3 4 days ago, and then I had to give a break. I went to hospital and I had many things to do, and then all the brainwashing came back. Like even though I unlearned it for a couple of days, and they came back because it was just first third of the book. So now when I read it, I can understand. When I see when I can feel that the brainwashing is still here, it kind of drives me nuts, and that's the hard part. The easy part is not quitting it or even deleting the videos and stuff like that. I had already step by step deleted my phone archive, the videos, even though the book says you don't need to delete or you don't need to stop watching it while you read this book. I did it gradually erased. I guess I erased them all. I mean, just the videos, not the pictures yet, but I'm planning to delete the pictures too. But for that, I have to unwash my brain or unlearn the things that I learned, reverse the brainwashing. Yeah, before your last session of watching it, you really have to unwash the brainwashing, unlearn the brainwashing. If you can manage to totally unlearn and unwash the brainwashing, the big monster, then then it's kind of easy. It will be kind of be easy peasy, as the book says, easy peasy method. So that's the tricky part. You really have to think about your thoughts and beliefs about this addiction and how it affects your life and your choices. Here it says removal of the brainwashing is essential to remove illusions about porn before you extinguish that final session. Unless you have removed this illusion that you enjoy it before you close that window, there is no way you can prove it afterwards without getting hooked again. Yeah, rather than cutting down, stopping is far easier and less painful. So true, just like the cigarette addiction. The problem of stopping isn't the dopamine addiction, which is easy to cope with. It's the mistaken belief that porn gives you pleasure brought about initially by brainwashing the seed before we started using, further reinforced by the actual addiction. All cutting down does is reinforce the policy further to the extent that porn dominates their lives completely and convinces them that the most precious thing on earth is their addiction. From chapter 12. And it continues. The handful of cases that do success have been achieved by a relatively short period of cutting down, followed by going cold turkey. Those users stopped in spite of cutting down, not because of it. All it did was prolong the agony, failed attempts, fleeing users' nervous breaks, and even more convinced they are booked for life. Yeah, cutting down is so painful. That's why the book, Ellen Scar's book, and this book says you don't need to stop it while you read this book. You don't need to uh, cut it down or stop it while you read this book because the brainwashing isn't unwashed yet. So if you kind of force it yourself before you are not mentally 100% ready, then you really fuck up with your psyche, and then you feel even more miserable and even more panicky and stressful and stuff like that. And then you are like, then it seems like at least 2 or 3 times harder than the regular job, the regular job of quitting it. It seems much more agonizing. And I can understand it very well because I finished the book of Ellen Carr, The Easy Way to Quit Stop Smoking or Stop Smoking. I wasn't a smoker at all, but my friend, my girlfriend was a smoker, and all people everybody in my family was a smoker, and I was always curious what's really going on in their brain, and I was into psychology and addiction, so I was trying to understand it. So I really dived deep into that book, and I had read it very carefully. And this book influenced by that book, so by Ellen Carr's book about quitting to smoking. So when I read this book, I can see the resemblances and similarities, and I can kind of understand it better. is so funny. I have to read this. If someone said to you, I can go all week without carrot, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest, you'd think you were talking to a nutcase. If I enjoyed carrots, why would I wanna go all week without them? If I didn't enjoy them, why would I make such a statement? So when a user makes a comment about surviving a week without a session, they are trying to convince themselves and you that they don't have a problem. But there would be no need to make a statement if they didn't have a problem. Translated, this comment is, I managed to survive a whole week without porn. Like every user hoping that after this they could survive the rest of their lives. If only able to survive a week, can you imagine how precious the session must have been afterwards, having felt deprived for an entire week?
Fell down from the sky. Feathers in our bed. In our bed. In our bed. Falling for a guy who fell down from
I'm getting a little sleepy. Yeah, the casual users, they are not more happy. They are also stuck there, but the only reason they are casual users, they are not well aware how stuck they are. They can stop themselves because there's enough money or there's enough time to indulge on it, etc. But sooner or later they will become like non-casual, all time, turn into all time addicts. So we really don't need to envy them. They are on the top of the sliding slope, just about to turn into a all-time porn addict. Yeah, it's a great song.
25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. I realized quickly when I knew I should that the world was made up of this brotherhood of man.
to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. She leads a lonely life. She leads a lonely
dopamine urges. They trick themselves into believing they are on a safer side. Remember, the thrill is in seeking, not killing, and the little monster doesn't care where where its fix comes from. For the user, the soft content received in their various online feeds gives them fleeting relief of withdrawal pain, keeping them hooked and waiting for your next session. Oh my god, so true. When I started reading this book, I didn't expect that the book to talk about social media, YouTube and Twitch and Instagram, and I was a little sad about it. But the addict inside me, the little monster or the big monster, one of them, it was saying, it was getting happy and it was saying, oh, probably they wanna talk about it, so you can continue watching it. But right now, I'm saying the book is really talking about it, so I need to quit them too. If I understand how it works, yeah, at some point I have to quit it. So it says it's about notice seeking, and it's also, I mean, the more you watch of porn, like social media, YouTube, Instagram, this and that, at some point you'll get desensitized, then you'll find ways to go back to your online harem, going back to your online favorite porn site. It says, which is probably true. Yeah, one can go for a couple of days or even for some weeks with YouTube or Instagram, just YouTube and Instagram, and then all of a sudden you will just say, "Oh, let's have a peek for this XXX porn site." I'll just have a peek and then I'll come back to my YouTube, and then you'll get hooked again. And actually, you were still hooked while you were watching this YouTube videos week after week, these kinky YouTube videos or this kinky Instagram models and stuff like that. Slowly, slowly going down the slope because you were still after the hunt, after the novelty or the hunt. I call it the hunt. I mean, I never tried any weapons or go for a hunting, but can understand the feeling because from the documentaries I watch and stuff like that. It feels like a hunt, like when you're out there going to the porn site or going to look for a nice model or this or that. The thrill of hunting, you just hunt for flesh, not to eat it and satisfy your hunger, but consume it to satisfy your sexual hunger and the addict, actually, the addict inside you. And it's worse than regular hunger because regular hunger, your body has a capacity and you will feel full after you eat a lion, but for sex, even though you get your orgasm, then you still want to do it again and again and again. So it's so addictive. Yeah, you have to shut down the need and desire first before shutting down the browser. That's the easy peasy way, right way to do it. Not the reverse. The willpower method shut down the browser before it shut down the desire and need. We don't recommend that. The easy peasy way, the book's way, you first shut down the need and desire, then the browser. So true.